All right. So here we are live on Sunday night. We attempted Riverside. It did not work very well.
Mm-mm.
So we're on Zoom. We talked about the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
And then I was telling you about the Michael Jackson movie, and that's kind
Yeah,
of
so
where.
finish telling me about the Michael Jackson movie, please.
Well, the movie itself it was just very well done. And the young man who's playing him is his nephew. I don't know how much you've
Oh,
heard about it, but he's Jermaine's son. His name is
okay.
Jafar. And I'll tell you what, he really looks like him
Yeah, I bet.
and dances like him and sings. I mean, he
Cool.
really did a nice job. Um, and it was cool watching something evolve that you had lived through. So
Mm.
it was funny because the one part they talked about going on tour and they're like, yeah, we're going to do a commercial for Pepsi. And Matt and I both went, oh,
Lionel
like,
Richie. Yeah.
run, Michael. It's not going to end well. Put on a hat. but but yeah, it's just, and I'm always sitting there watching a movie like that thinking, what's the bigger lesson? What's the bigger
Yeah.
thing here? And he just knew he almost just could not help the music from he had music in his head all the time. And
Yeah.
he was so wired to do this. And obviously, people picked up from a young age that he was gifted
Hmm.
and he just could not help but put everything he had into his music.
Interesting. Yeah.
And yeah, and despite, they portray that he didn't have a great relationship with his dad, which caused him some like stunted social development, like some things like that.
Yeah.
But just still and it's interesting too how, some insight on how the music business works and the biases and the
Mm.
even at that time the racial preferences. Like he had to really fight to when he wanted to put his video on MTV, they weren't putting black artists on MTV at the time.
Wow.
And so CBS basically had to threaten MTV that they were going to pull all their artists if they didn't play Michael Jackson's video. So I thought it was
Jeez.
interesting. But it was excellent. It's
Good.
again, I was saying how I'm not a huge fan of being in the movie theater. I'd rather watch movies at home.
Hmm.
But this was a cool one to see on the big screen.
Nice. Nice.
Last
Did
last
Matt and
one I saw
Micah
on the big
enjoy it?
screen, yeah, very much
Yeah.
so. Both of them did. Both of them
Good.
did. So
And that was a birthday present for Matt, right?
yeah, his so typical couples at our age, our significant others often don't need anything that
Yeah.
they don't just go out and get themselves. But he's been talking about the movie, so I got tickets
Good.
for he
Brilliant.
and then Micah and I, and we went. The
Yep.
three of us went, and I think I think what my favorite part of that though was the conversations we had on the way home.
Mm.
Like that's the part of it I like is the conversation it stirs.
It's like
So
book club with movies.
it is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it was good and just some other busy stuff this weekend, but
Yeah.
that was kind of the one of the
Yeah.
highlights, I guess. So
One thing I was telling you is that like for me, April was a very busy work month,
yeah,
and May is a very busy social month, which no, I'm not saying it feels like work. It's just that it's a different kind of
yeah,
busy, you know.
kind of a different kind of on.
Yeah, yeah. So, but yeah,
And we've got some things I'm realizing for our schedule. We've got some things once we hit midsummer, things really kick up for
yeah,
us.
yeah,
We've got a few gigs kind of stacked on top of each other, which are
yeah,
going to be really fun. So I'm starting to get excited about that as we
yeah.
plan. Combination of Mo has some big speaking gigs that I get to be her wrangler and her second set of hands and second brain on. But then we've got some that we're doing together as well. And it's just really fun, all the different iterations of the ways we get to work together.
But I have to say, so like we always joke about you being my emotional support human and things like
Yeah.
that. And it started back in 2019 at TEDx Columbiana or Youngstown, and it's gone through several iterations at Lockheed Martin when I speak. And I really could have used you. Well, we were together for the Women Air Force Service Pilot
Yep.
Homecoming, and I think that helps. And then the weekend after the WASP homecoming, I was at the Air Force Academy by myself, and I was trying to make myself like I helped with setup, and that's a different level of on when
Sure.
you're just greeting people and you see people you know, and there's little mini reunions happening there and that, and then attending some of the panels and things like that, and I had a very significant emotional interaction with someone that had made an impact on me 20 years
Yeah.
prior, and then I moderated two panels, and then I was emceeing, kind of running things a little bit on Saturday night. And I remember at about 90% of the way through the first panel that I was moderating, now this is 2.5 days into it, I thought I was going to pass out. And I knew I was hydrated. I knew I was fine calorically because I had been eating proper. I had been eating well-balanced food. I've been taking all my propane. I've been taking all my protein.
There's your problem right
Yeah,
there.
exactly. Well, just a pinch between
Stop
the, yeah.
drinking propane.
But I was doing all that stuff, and I still had that moment of tank, and I was standing up. So I'm standing up, and I'm moderating a panel, and I'm just like, I don't know what it is, but it was like, and I think I had told you ahead of time. I was like, I wish you could go with me because I cannot seem to manage my energy
Yeah.
by myself or without you. I don't know which it is, but and I think you and I talked about it, and it might be a blood sugar thing. So now
Yeah.
I carry like Smarties and bottle caps, and but it's
Good taste. Hey, you had Spree over there the other day. I don't
I
know the
do.
last time I've seen a Spree.
Well, listen, this is from so at the
They were good.
so the thing I was at the Air Force Academy was the it's the fifth this year is the 50th anniversary of when women first showed up legally through at military service academies. So 1976 is when the first class of females entered. So we had just a bunch of fantastic panels, and there's so much going on. But the final night, the final event was an 80s party with a theme, because it was 1980 was the first class of women that graduated, so the 80s ladies. So everything was 80s themes. We had Zots.
Nice. Oh gosh, I
You
haven't seen those in a while
Every,
either.
everything music was all the music was 80s, everything
Love
was
it.
neon. It was fantastic. So
Love
that's
it.
why I have all this candy. So but
You
yeah,
don't
it's
have to, you do not have to justify why you have Spree and bottle caps
no.
because I will
Actually, the
support
reason
that all day.
well, it's completely separate reason why I took it, but it's just interesting, like managing your energy is
Yeah.
such a thing that I never realized. And I think when it really there's been 3 milestone events that have like kind of solidified this in my mind, but I do not know what it is. So the first
Yeah.
one, and I don't know if Lockheed or the one in Boston happened first, but
Oh, I forgot about Boston.
oh,
That was
Boston, yeah,
that was like
Boston was,
scary.
well, so was this one.
Ugh.
So so Boston, and again, I went by myself. I spoke, I signed books, and I was supposed to go out to dinner with a friend, and again, it wasn't a caloric. Maybe this one might have been caloric, but I was supposed to go out to dinner with a friend, but I got done with the speaking gig, signing books, and as soon as I got back, I packed everything up, and you're on, and I packed
Yeah.
everything up, and some of it is the physical labor of doing all that, some of it is the emotional labor of wanting to be there for people, and then I got back to my hotel room, and I tanked. I mean, I was
Yeah.
physically sick. I was starving, and I couldn't even
Forgot
get
about that.
food. And so I grub hubbed Gatorade. So I grubbed hub, like, I think I got like a McDonald's. It was like crap food, but I grub hubbed a burger, and I had the last minute added Gatorade to my order. So they had stopped at another place, and I couldn't even go down to the lobby to get it. They had to bring it up to my room. And meanwhile, I'm calling my friend who, had gotten me the gig and hired me. And I'm like, I cannot make it out to dinner. I was so sick.
Yeah.
And then I think about the Lockheed one where you and I went in. Bethesda's like maybe 30 minutes away, and that's
Yeah.
where the gig was. And I drove home. I started to drive home, and I'm like, I think we were what, maybe honestly 5 to 10 minutes into the ride home.
Yeah, it wasn't far. I would say 15 at the most.
It's
Yeah.
like I cannot stay awake, and I pulled over. I don't even think we pulled over at a legit stop. You got in the car. I drove, and one of my
It
favorite
was like a
pictures.
way station, I think.
Yeah, one of my favorite pictures that you took at a red light of me just, I mean,
Dunked.
I could not even, but again, and I don't know what it is, and I don't know how to fix it, and it was just like, I I suffer from this energy tank less when I'm with you, but I don't know how to fix it. So
Well,
it's just
I think though, honestly, Moe, it speaks a lot to how
poorly I
you don't
manage my
know.
own energy.
No. How sleepy you are.
Yeah.
I think it speaks to how you don't give anything less than 100%. And when you do a gig, whether it's speaking, moderating, trivia, whatever it is, you give 100% and you literally leave it all out on the field, almost to your own detriment.
Well,
But
yeah.
but also what I love about that too, again, I always like to think back. You and I have been friends now. I think we're almost 8 years. This fall it'll be like end of the summer, it'll be like
Yeah.
8 years.
Yeah.
And how on paper we do not look like we would be likely
Yeah.
best friends, but we chose to let those internal, our weirds as we call it,
Yeah.
um the things that that kind of deep calling to deep, kind of that
Hmm.
those deeper ways that you're wired, we've got this really lovely connection and trust. And I think like leaning in, finding your people like that, and
Yeah.
everybody's got people somewhere,
Hmm.
finding those people and learning to build this trust so that you can do what you're wired to do, but you've
Yeah.
got the support system built in.
Yeah.
And that's huge.
Well,
And
yeah.
yeah,
And to that point too, and I think about whether we're talking about the female trainer with the Kentucky Derby, like when
yeah,
she was watching her horse, she wasn't alone.
yeah,
Like,
oh
and when the
yeah,
horse won, she celebrated with people. And I think about, like, again, still coming off the Air Force Academy celebration that we had. A couple things strike me is that number one is um, no one's going through this alone. And a
yeah,
lot of times when you hear, even if you feel alone, when you hear somebody else's struggle and you realize they had the same struggle you had, maybe even 50 years later, you realize you're not alone either. In that you're either sorry, I got this crap.
okay,
You're either you have a support system with you while you're going through whatever it is,
yeah,
positive or negative. But even if you even if you remove some years and you look at somebody who went through something similar or even identical, you realize that they had the same feelings, in that you felt the same thing or they felt the same thing that you did. And again, you realize you are not alone in the way you felt, in the way you experienced that moment, in the way you had a support system. And again, I think you and I talk about this all the time, is as humans in this whole human experiment or whatever, maybe democracy is experiment, maybe the human thing is not the experiment, I don't know. But we are not meant to do this thing alone.
yeah,
And I think that's part of the reason why, yes, I can do keynotes, yes, I can moderate a panel by myself, but I would rather deliver a workshop or deliver an entertainment package or moderate a panel with you, because we are not meant to do things alone. And
yeah,
even when I do have to take the stage alone, the fact that I know you're back there giving me feedback on how things are going, if I need to wrap up or things aren't landing, and the fact that the way you catch me when I tank, again, I may be on stage alone, but I'm not on stage alone, if that makes
yeah,
any sense,
yeah. Well, and same. I mean, you've returned the favor for me many times. Not favor, that's the wrong word, but but I even think about
Like
how you've come
party
along with
favors?
me. Spree, how you've come along with me to, like, I've got to manage, accompanying 8 of my girls in a row solo and ensemble contest. And even if you're standing there with my giant purse at your feet, with my glasses in your
Suitcase.
hand,
Suitcase.
my water, the next sheet music that I need, but just having people that you trust and that you can. I think we all have things where we need to let ourselves be managed. As independent and brilliant as all of us are,
Right?
it takes a small village to make this work. And I think that's why, too, and we have talked about this before, Moe, where we're very intentional about celebrating the wins too.
Hmm.
Because when you put everybody's superpowers together and you make these things work, it is worth celebrating.
Yeah.
It's worth taking the moment, reflecting, clinking the glasses together,
Yep.
um, deciding how you want to do things differently next time, but really looking at this thing that was just an idea came to fruition, whether it's a show or whether it's a keynote or whether it's a recital or whatever it is.
Yeah.
The importance of celebrating is really super important. And that's, I think, part of the entire, that's what I love, is that I love that you and I are so simpatico about the process from inception to celebration.
Yeah. Yeah.
From the very beginning to the very end.
And I think a lot of people, two things. I think a lot of people don't celebrate at the end, and they're like, okay, we got this thing done, check, we're on to the next thing.
On to the next thing,
Where it's like, hang on, let's take a moment, and this thing that was an idea is now we finished it and it's an accomplished thing. So I think there's a moment to celebrate that. But I also think there's important to celebrate things along the way. Like, we secured the venue. Okay, that was a big deal. Like, we got the DJ or whatever. Like, all those little things along the way. If you don't celebrate them, those are mini milestones on the way to the big milestone. And I think if you don't celebrate that, and again, I'm going to use this quote that we heard last week, right? If you minimize the struggle, you minimize the success. And again, if you don't look at all the things it took to get you to point A, B, or Z, you minimize the success of actually reaching that point. So,
yeah.
So. Apparently tonight is the night of unstable internet, so whatever. But anyway, sorry I'm like snorting and snoffing and whatever.
That's okay. I've got a little bit of like whatever this allergy, like I feel like all of my singers have been coming in here with like sinus stuff, and I feel like I've got a little bit of it tonight too.
We're coming upon that season where you look out at your car and it's just like covered in pollen, so.
Oh, it's so gross. Yeah. Like, and all those like the long strips of like the pollen stuff in the driveway. So I'm going to blow all that out tomorrow. But
so one thing before we close, I want to, speaking of not doing this alone. So one of the things that you and I are working on is a retreat that we're hosting for some executive entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And one of the exercises that we usually do at our workshops is we start with, here's today, vertical line, and we look back, sometimes tens, it doesn't matter, but we look back X many years. And then we also look forward X many years, the same amount. And so one of the things that we do is for our graphics is we have the blank that we hand out, but then we also fill it out with what our life has looked like in the past 5. Just so that we can go through the exercise that we're asking people to go through, but also so that we can show something like, hey, this is what my work life has been like. This is what my personal life was. So on mine, I was filling mine out for this event we have coming out. And I'm like, okay, so 2026, 5 years, 2021, I moved into this house in 2021, and I'm thinking, okay, what has happened since 2021? Well, fresh on my mind is the fact that Dozer has cancer. So my oldest dog has cancer. So that's very close to the 2026 line. And I'm like, okay, well, while I'm on dogs, we lost Boomer a couple years ago. So Boomer's on there. And then I'm like, I couldn't remember anything. But I know something have had to happen in the past 5 years. So I asked Jenny, I said, Jen, what have we done in the past 5 years? I am so sorry I asked, but going to the point of it is this village effort. She goes, well, we put the pool in, we sold the Cape Cod house, we put a garage in, kitchen, bathroom, driveway. She started listing all these things. I'm like, well, stop. I'm trying to fill this graphic in. Then I get done with it. I think I sent it to you. And then I showed it to Jen. I'm like, this is why I was asking you. She goes, oh, but don't forget the roof. And don't forget the kitchen. I'm like, okay, all I've learned from this whole exercise is stop doing construction at the house. But my point is, number one, I needed Jen to help me populate that. Well, even when we were talking about Jess, and I was showing Jess that, she goes, well, what about Rosie? I'm like, oh, yeah.
I was just going to say that, yeah.
When we lost Boomer is when we, had the capacity for another dog, and we got Rosie's in the past 5 years. So it's just like, it is so powerful to look back 5 years. Yeah. To look at what you've done, what you've overcome, again, going back to those many milestones along the way. But I mean, that's all I'm just kind of venting, because when I looked at it, I'm like, Jenny, All you've done is construction projects for the last 5 years.
Displaced you. Did you have your bathroom on there too? I forgot you did your bathroom
Yeah,
too.
I'd forgotten it too.
Bathroom, kitchen, garage, swimming pool, driveway.
The
You got
roof,
the
the
other
roof is in a
RV.
couple weeks. I mean,
I think you practically new house.
well, I know that now. Anyway, I do think there's a great value in, I
Yeah.
mean, if you think about when you drive your car, you've got one big windshield, but you have three rear view
Yeah.
mirrors. I mean,
A
we
lot
have to
going
look
on.
back every once in a while just to kind of see either what's coming creeping up on us or where we've been. So I think there's a great value in that.
You know, I'm going to do what I always do, Moe, when you make a point, is I'm going to make it about voice study because that's my world. But I often will tell the people that I work with that voice is a long game and it's a
Mhm.
really slow process. And we do not see progress typically from week to week. Maybe over months, definitely over, several months. And so that's why when I do notice something that someone does that they
Mhm.
weren't doing 3 months ago, I will stop them right then and there and be like, hey, I just want to point out how good your vowels are. And like,
Yeah.
I can tell that that's become something you do all the time now. But it's like, if you don't point those things out, you just think you're going to the next lesson, the next lesson, the next lesson, and you don't see the progress unless you watch like a video from like a year ago. So like it's one of those things where it's a marathon. It is not a sprint. And so part of my job not only is to educate and make adjustments, but also to point out when that person is consistently applying those things
Yeah.
and has improved like this aspect of their
Yeah.
instrument. So like it's important. That's because if not, then what's the point? And you get
Again, if you
discouraged.
minimize the struggle, you minimize the success, right? So
Exactly.
I gotta find out
Exactly.
who said that.
You have to
I
go
gotta do
through a
some
whole
super sleuth work.
well, if anybody can do it, I know that you can.
So anyway, so
All right.
thank you for dealing with us as I'm gonna have to edit this to put it into two, or maybe
Yeah,
we'll just do
sorry.
podcast part one, part two.
I don't
That might
know.
be easier. So
Uh,
anyway,
silly internet.
yeah.
Well, happy Sunday, everybody. Happy May. Enjoy. And we will see you next Friday for Full Stop Friday.
Yeah. Celebrate your successes. Take a look back and see how far you've come. It's
And
good
find
stuff.
somebody who gets you, who can help manage you through it.
Yeah, and figure out why I'm tanking. There you go.
And eat bottle caps. That's
I know.
all.
Apparently, I need raw sugar, pixie sticks. All right, we'll see you on Friday for Full Stop Friday. Bye.
Bye.